this morning is a project that inspired others. It's a project that took place in Peru, and I will give the floor to Waste Marketplace, which is a digital solution to site management and industrial waste. And so I'd like to welcome Jérôme de Tomasi, the founder of this platform. Hello, Mathieu. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jérôme, just a few words for you. You used to be the former Secretary General of Vinci Construction in the Eastern region of France, and you're one of the pioneers of the intrapreneur programs from the first promotion. Yes, I had the pleasure to be all that. Well, hello, I'm here today to talk to you about worksite waste and also industrial waste, because it's more or less the same thing. And why are we interested in this at Waste Marketplace? Well, it's for a very simple reason. When you ask someone who's responsible for this topic, someone who's a project manager, a worksite supervisor, often the answer we get is usually the same. And that is, I'd like to take care of this the least possible, and I want it to cost the least possible. Okay, well, even though this is changing, it isn't much of an answer. So to respond to these issues, these managers usually choose the simplest solution, one actor that has to deal with many different types of waste, and they depend on this single service provider for all waste disposal. But there are many problems linked to this. Among the different problems is there something that goes against their starting point, which is that this solution isn't usually the cheapest solution. The model that's defended by Vinci, and the clients like it because it's simple, and sometimes we get criticized for it. It's a bit expensive, and it's the same thing with waste management. And usually the players that are present in the waste management business, and they've been there for decades sometimes, they're not usually big defenders of digitalization, and often they've defending an idea of centralizing waste management that sometimes goes against the most streamlined solution. And waste management has to also be faithful to its reputation. And sometimes this way of working is a bit opaque. Sometimes the service provider doesn't give us all the information. It's not very transparent. Did they choose the best solution? And was the waste actually managed properly? So it is your obligation to know this, because you're responsible of what happens with waste. So these are different problems that are not minor ones. Now, at Waste Marketplace, we asked ourselves how to approach this issue. Well, first of all, we wanted things to be simple. And we said to ourselves, we want things to be better. We want them to be even simpler than before. And that's what we've done with the tool that we created, which I'll talk to you about a bit later. So by doing things simpler than before, we try to work on the different problems I mentioned earlier on. Waste Marketplace is a tool and is also a service. The service is everything that you can't see, everything that's behind the scenes. It's everything that's before the quotation that you have to deal with, the quotation that you're going to challenge us with. But the idea is to find the best possible solution for each type of waste where it is found. The waste market is something that's hyper-local. The idea is to transport waste with about, on average, 2 tons per dumpster. And so the best solutions are local. But the best solution isn't just that. The idea is also to find on the market all the solutions for recycling, for upcycling that's possible. So when it comes to reusing, we use actors that know this, but not all waste can be reused. And so for all the rest, we're trying to find the best solution. And so we try and find the players who know how to deal with the different types of waste. This person knows how to do one thing, and this other person knows how to do something else. And this allows us to bring everything together within a single offer. And that's what Waste Marketplace does. It's simplicity, and it's also a richness that you'd never have access to otherwise. And you wouldn't have been able to devote the time required to be able to find these right solutions. So there's a multitude of different service providers that are grouped together, even though you have only one person that you communicate directly. And that's what the tool does. And the tool allows us to deal with representatives in each region and to be able to deal at local level. We have representatives in the different regions of France, and each one of these representatives can identify the right players, the right service providers to see what their talents are, what they can do, what sort of materials they can deal with. And we use the tool to create parameters for all this, and this allows you in 4 clicks to be able to find the right solution without necessarily realizing what's happening exactly. And we use all different supports, PCs, Macintoshes, tablets, and so on. So how does it work? I want to eliminate a certain type of waste. I'll select a certain type of waste in a list. We don't have any limits because we don't have a site, so there's no limits to the types of waste that we can use. We can integrate all different solutions. So you'll select the type of waste you want to evacuate and define what is the container that is appropriate for my own site. Then I will also manage an inventory of the different containers to organize a rotation in a couple of clips. And this will create an inventory that will tell you who transported this dumpster, where to, who by what was inside it. And this is all brought together in a dashboard that gives you a monitoring system to know how many tons of waste you've managed, what the carbon impact of each type of waste is. And this is the starting point of a very good environmental policy. We're talking about goals for 2030, but you need to know where you are now. And today, few people know exactly where they are. But with Waste Marketplace, you know where you are. You can set your goals and you can challenge yourself. So you understand the goal was to find a simple solution. On the work sites, we like simplicity, and time is money. So we are really trying to find this solution to be able to get this done in a couple of clicks. Now, our beta testers are not really technological specialists, but they're usually traditionalists, and so we tested it with them, and we've realized that if it worked with them, then it must work with everyone. And so we tested it, and they came back to us and said to us that your thing really worked so well, I'm not going to go back to the old way of working, because this simplicity really hides everything that you might not have the time or energy to do yourself. And all of this is also is a reporting that creates itself automatically and is consolidated on the with the scope you want. So, for example, we have companies where all their work sites go through us, and at the end of the year, with one click, they can see the impact of all their waste on all their different work sites. So from the beginning of Waste Marketplace, from the first generation of intrapreneur programs 3 years ago, we have now processed around 5,000 tons per month with an average rate of recovery of 80%. And just to give you a comparison, the rate of revalorization of construction materials is around 50–60%. But that's talking about averages, whereas we're talking about actual dumpsters. Dumpster by dumpsters, it's 80%. And we're talking about around 2,000 dumpsters and a whole network of service providers. We're working with around 400 service providers throughout France. And there's more day by day. And we're trying to create a network in order to have the solutions that are closest to your issues. And hopefully this will also evolve in the future. And we would like to work with people who also work on waste revalorization. And we'll eliminate from the people we work with people who are just sending waste to a landfill. Because this is often, unfortunately, the way that people who use landfills if you own a landfill, the thing you want to do is fill it. So often the desire is not to be able to revalorize a waste and find different recycling solutions and so on. So it's a simple solution, but it's a virtuous one. Today we're working with all the different divisions of the Vinci Group, the constructions, energy, highways, and so on and so forth. And we're also working with all the main players in building and with industrial sites, because we provide a different solution. And also we have industrial businesses who want to be able to work with innovative waste management solutions but don't know how to do it. And we create this bridge between the industrial players and waste management. So I think you've understood that waste marketplace is simpler and much better than what we've known up until now. Thank you very much, Jérôme. Jérôme, just like Guillaume,